Watch this.
Okay. Nice. All right.
You got skips.
Wow.
Hi everyone. I'm gonna ignore the camera once we start talking, but welcome to DREAMCORE, where we talk about people's dreams and do a little bit of a deep dive. Yeah, but I think before we get into it, we did talk about, like right before, the mind reading AI shit happening. And I know Gage knows about this. I know this is like new news, but it's pretty wild. Something that I'll just kind of describe it briefly. Basically, people were put into like an fMRI scan, and when they were in that like scan, they were shown like a video, right? And so they're like, the part of their brain that I think is being monitored is related to like spatial, like, what's it called? Spatial, temporal, something, I don't know. Yeah. But anyway, that's the part that's being like looked at, and they are not only looking at that, they're looking at like a range of parts of the mind and different signals being given, but some of the other range, like in the prefrontal cortex, is more complex. And they're really not sure how like it plays. But anyway, so they're reading people's minds, they're showing them a video, and they're combining that information with stable diffusion and mixing it with AI. They're actually able to pretty much see what the person is seeing with just their thoughts. Oh my gosh. Has nothing to do with like their it's not like a prompt being put in, but it kind of works like that. Basically, it's like they're kind of calculating the thought that's being, like if you're watching fish and your brain is thinking fish, then that's basically, they use that to input the prompt into stable diffusion. But that process of putting in the prompt is automatic. Like it's all just happening. It does take like, there's like a delay, you know, there.
Yeah, a lot of brain power going on.
Yeah, so
Fish.
you could see how that would translate into. I think one day it'd be cool to like record your dreams with that.
Wow.
I know it'd be like crazy.
A whole
Like
movie
short
going on.
movies every time.
Yeah, like is that a service you would use?
Yeah.
How would you? Okay, but like.
Well, so you said the fMRI. It's functional MRI, which means it's non-invasive, right? So there's
okay.
So like Neuralink is supposed to be implanted chips,
Mm-hmm.
which would be the future, I guess.
Yeah.
But the non-invasive just scans your brain and then relays it to, I think, short movies. And I can't recall any dreams. People say I dream. People say everyone dreams, but I can't recall anything. So if I could wake up and have 4 new movies that I just created every morning and go like, oh, look at this is what I dreamt about. I think that'd be pretty cool.
It would be kind of weird.
You could YouTube live stream. You could do live.
That's true. Oh my god.
Live stream your dreams while you sleep and make money and have a channel.
Free dream channel.
Unless you have weird admittance dreams or like
repressed emotional.
Dreams. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, that's what I wanted to know. Like, have you seen Minority? I think we talked about that. Minority Report.
Yeah.
Have you seen Minority Report? Tom Cruise.
Like 10,
I don't recall.
15 years ago.
Yeah, it's an old movie.
Basically, in the movie, like it's not through like technology. It's like through these like mystical forces. It takes place in some like alternate future, and these like 3 human beings who have like this power where they can see people's actions before it happens.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like a few minutes before, and the police has kind of like imprisoned these like 3 people, and they're like, okay, we're gonna use what you think to basically like capture a criminal before they commit the crime. you know, and I wonder if like that's a way that the government will use this technology.
I wouldn't be surprised, but
Yeah.
yeah, I guess there would be a lot of conflict because like the
Yeah.
government is using this. You know,
Yeah,
how,
it's
like,
weird,
How
like,
are
yeah,
you gonna be like,
they're-
oh, you're gonna be able to trust it? I mean, you got AI. You're able to create voice generation and stuff, so it's like it's hard to
Deepfakes.
distinguish. Yeah, reality.
Yeah, one thing I noticed from the videos, I think you also saw them, it seems like it's also interpreting. I mean, yeah, it's like interpreting, but some of that interpretation, like in one of the videos, like it's like a woman talking, and there's like a guy, like it's the back of his head. But in the video, it's the guy talking, and there's just a figure here. So I wonder how much of it is like a projection, you know, of like what somebody is like, how much of like their own, like if I'm watching this video of a woman talking, I'm thinking about a guy, like,
Sure.
you know, that could easily flip
Affect
the script.
Any of the
Yeah.
anything that's portrayed in your mind reading
Mm-hmm.
brain scan.
Yeah, it's weird, but I don't know. I thought it was interesting. I'd like to know what people think and how other people might use this tech. I think in this.
My God, I don't know where it's going. Scientists said the brain-computer interface should respect mind privacy,
Bruh!
and I can't.
I don't know.
Because if you're having brain scans, it's being relayed to a machine, right?
Yeah.
And that machine will probably be hooked up to the internet to process
Right.
those dreams in AI.
Yeah.
So now your dreams are instantly online.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
now like companies,
Yeah.
Google and Amazon, they can collect all of that dream data and then advertise to you more.
Oh my
accurately,
God.
Or
Yes.
take your information and your
Yeah.
thoughts and make their own scripts and movies out of your unique dreams or
Or video games.
Yeah.
anything.
Like,
Pursue VR.
yeah.
Put something on, and they just feed you with whatever kind of like, I guess.
That'd be
dreams
kinda
you would
crazy,
like,
though.
Dude.
You can implant dreams.
Right.
Yeah, if it's like, because you know, I think yesterday we saw the video of like you take a video and you like feed it to AI and it can create like the 3D space, like the
Yeah.
like the Luma stuff.
Yeah, the Luma,
Yeah.
like 3D scanning.
But now imagine like the video you're inputting is your dream
Mhm.
into this 3D scan, and now you can like play your dream in a
Yeah,
video
that-
game.
Yes.
2D to 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be dope. Like CAD drawings of your dream.
Oh my God.
Computer-aided drawings.
Oh, dude. By the way, I was telling Brian earlier, since we've been playing tennis, I've had like not dreams, but like the moment before you sleep. You know how sometimes, well, I don't know if this happens to me, but like I'll start like imagining the scenario, and I've had so many fucking tennis dreams.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Like, I think that there's like
There's a correlation between your
anxiety.
anxiety.
Yeah, cause like I used to feel it with track when I used to run.
Yeah.
Like that moment before you go off on the race, like right before you start, and you're waiting for like the gun to go.
Oh yeah.
I would get so nervous. I would get so nervous, and I used to have like really intense dreams about not starting, or I run and my shoes are still like tied to the like little thing that
Yeah.
holds you and all that.
What are your tennis dreams? 'Cause
Not hitting the ball.
Just whiffing every time.
Yeah,
What a nightmare.
like you hit it really hard, and I'm like, ah! And like, but in my dream, or like this state does this weird thing, where like the ball's coming to me, but it skips the part where I hit it. It just goes to the next ball.
Oh, okay.
So imagine like just a bunch of them coming at you, and you're like,
Oh my
you
God.
want to hit them, but it keeps just repeat. It's like this weird
Oh my
loop.
God. Okay. Like a glitch before the ball gets to you.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought it had to do more with being more active, working out, having blood pumped to your brain. Like we're playing tennis and we're
Yeah.
heavy
For
breathing.
hours.
Right.
Because I haven't had dreams since college, and that's when I was really active, playing sports, running
Yeah.
every day, doing physical training. And that's when I had the most.
In college, you would dream a lot.
Yeah, more than now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because I thought it was more because of like the physical activity and the things, the routine before bed. And,
Yeah.
I've fallen asleep on my desk, like intentionally doing, like studying for a test.
Oh man.
And then like I'd get so like neurotic about the test, I would take a photo and then I'd stare at the photo of like the page, whatever the page is, the question and answers.
Yeah.
I'm preparing for a test or a quiz. I'll take a photo and like I'll look at it throughout the day. And like the day before the test is when I study because I fall asleep while I'm studying at my desk, and like I'll see that page in my dream. And I've been able to actively read pages
Whoa.
in my dream.
What the fuck?
In my dream, I'm just sitting at a table, just a table. Everything's white, like I'm in a photo box.
Yeah.
And I'm just at a table and I'm staring at a
Oh my
at
god.
paper. It feels like it feels like I do that for like 6 hours in the dream, and then next day I ace the test. It's just it's pretty interesting.
Okay.
That sounds like a lot of worry and anxiety about like the test, and you want to do so good that you keep studying in your dream.
Yeah.
And it seems to have worked.
Well, I never studied for any test or quiz except for the day before for that reason. So it happened a lot.
Oh wow.
It happened a lot.
I can imagine how
Like once a week.
waiting for that last moment would, because I do the same.
Spike it.
All the essays and everything.
Procrastinate. Oh my god, it's like 6 hours before. I have to be up at 8 a.m. And you're like, X plus Y. Yeah, I remember like formulas and stuff in my dream, in my head.
Wow.
I can't do it today. I just don't know why.
Do you feel like if you were to put some kind of major stress?
I've been trying.
Yeah.
I went 11-0 yesterday, and I had no dreams.
Whoa.
I think it's probably
Intense.
because you don't see now the maybe like the option of failing. Whether on the test,
that's interesting.
On the test you're like,
Yeah.
am I, it's a possibility to
So
fail.
you're saying more anxiety?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Correlated to the emotions.
because I live my dreams.
That's true.
I don't need to dream.
Yeah, Gage is one of the few people I know who like does the things that he's fucking scared to do.
Yeah.
But I think you also do it like I don't see that fear. You're very okay with like whatever fucking happens.
Yeah, I love failure.
Yeah.
We discuss this all the time. I love failure. If you're not failing, you're not learning, you're not progressing, you're not evolving, you're not going forward in life. I fail a lot. So it's easy for me to like show you guys how to make money or sell things.
Right.
Because I don't have this. I've already done it. I know the failures. I don't want you guys to do the failures.
Yeah.
But yeah. It could be because of that. Increased anxiety might bring
that makes
more
sense.
dreaming,
I could see that because that's.
And I don't think I have much anxiety or depression.
Yeah, I don't see that. Yeah. That's one of the things that I had seen like be talked about in like I watched like a researcher thing like last week for the other podcast episode and
For dreaming?
Yeah. And one thing that they found is supposedly like overnight you have like a bunch of dreams, but the ones that stick are the ones that are that elicit like the most emotional response.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So that could be maybe why.
So dream recall were the ones that were more meaningful, or anxiety or depression, or just any emotion that's evoked?
They tend to be around the bigger, like the heavier emotions, like anxiety, depression, trauma. Like that's why we talked about it the last episode, but like people who go through like a traumatic experience will often redream that experience. Sometimes it's their brain's way of trying to redo that moment and kind of fix it, you know. But I don't know, like what does that look like for you? Like how does anxiety play a role? Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely happened. I sometimes dream like stuff. It takes me to the past. But I'm capable of also like going to practice before I sleep to like lucid dream.
Yeah, that's right. We talked about that.
Yeah. So I don't know.
You can lucid dream like actively.
Yeah. And I do that before I sleep. Like I can go a process of increasing the chances of me lucid dreaming. So like sometimes it works because I might like interrupt or too much stuff going on in my head. But if I like put myself into practice, I could go. I lucid dream. I can't pick where I go or nothing like that, right? But it takes me per se to a moment in the past, right? Of I don't know, teenage years, traumatic moment or whatever it might be. And I'm capable of like choosing. Like what happens and stuff like that. Like maybe I didn't do it in real life, and in my dream I'm capable of.
Whoa.
Yeah. But then it takes that weird. Like I wake up every time when it's like it concludes into the way that it just didn't in reality.
Oh,
yeah,
I see.
That's where it like snaps.
This is step 1 of time travel.
Yeah.
Dude, well, there you go.
And then we give you a sword, AI sword in your back. Oh my god.
Well, imagine AI and everything like that. That's the thing. That's the scary part. Like going back into that. Imagine if you're able to, go in, change your entire like past, and dude, and like your present is now, but you're still in that VR.
Altered.
Yeah. That's definitely a
crazy.
fear I have. Like, and one thing that I had like written like a film script on was this like moment like in our history that we might see where we are like, you remember that video we saw where like someone recreated their memory in VR?
Oh.
Yeah, but they used like their phone and then got like the spatial like space or whatever.
They do like a little 3D scan. Kind of thing.
And they put the headset on and the person was like right there as if it was like their memory happening. And one worry I have is how it will impact our memory as like people. Yeah.
Like distinguishing reality versus
you're actually like well, because you're technically seeing your memory.
The Mandela effect.
Yeah,
to extreme.
It might worsen by so much. Like people might start to remember things entirely differently from how they happen.
Yeah. I mean, I see that with my grandmother. Has dreams, and I go, Grandma, that never happened.
She like me.
Yeah, it's trippy.
I was just there. No, Grandma. No.
No, Grandma.
Is it dementia? Are you dreaming? Senile.
Grandma.
Wake up, Grandma. I can see altered pasts. Even altered self, like the view of yourself changing just through simple dreams.
And we kind of do that already, I think. Like, I often revisit my memories after like a weird like learning curve. Like if I learn something new, I might revisit a memory and look at it different.
Sure.
With that new like learning experience, So I think we already kind of do that in some way. I think there's like an infinite amount of ways to look at the same moment, and sometimes like looking back into some of my memories, I can pick out a perspective that I maybe was unaware about before. Like the context matters a lot. Like kind of, I remember, for example, when I was so annoying. When I was like in my first year of high school, everybody had like the iPhone. It just come out like touch screen, that was new. And I was like, I remember one day, I think it was like my birthday or Christmas, my dad, he hadn't gotten me a gift and he wanted to, and he's like, hey, what do you want? Like, I'll get you something. And I was like, we had this conversation before that I wanted an iPhone, and that was like really important to me at the time. And I was like, well, I want an iPhone, Dad. And then he was like, oh, well, like, I'm sorry, like, I can't, that's the only thing I can't give you. He's like, but you could pick like something else, like, maybe cheaper. And I was like, okay, like, I ended up getting like I bought a shuffle. But like, and for a long time, like, that made me like sad, and I was like, I couldn't get this thing, or he didn't want to give it to me. But with context, that was like, I think our family was going through like a financially hard moment.
Sure. And
for years, I kind of overlooked that. I just kind of thought of myself, and I was like, oh, like, he didn't want to give me what I wanted, but it wasn't about that, so you go back and you like find a new perspective. It sounds like that's kind of what happens in your dreams, but you have like a say, which is like the unique part, right?
You're right.
Like most people don't have a say in their dreams. I have a suspicion that maybe it's because like whatever traumatic moment you experience that you wanted to see differently, maybe it's because some people don't experience something maybe with that kind of emotional spike, or if they do, maybe the response to that moment is different. Like maybe they still fear like when it comes up, you know, or it looks different.
Right.
Sure.
Yeah. But which is crazy because it gives you like the ability to have more chances to lucid dream, right?
Of course. And it's weird, like I don't even remember how it started.
Yeah.
But it was I guess in the moment, like I would go back and not be able to control my dreams, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I wake up the next day, like thinking about it, like, oh, I dreamt this. Like how am I able to, you know? And then I think about it, maybe not all day, but you know, multiple parts in a day. Like, oh, maybe can I like practice this? Like, how do I do this? And then one night I was just like, okay, well, you know, you just kind of like talk yourself into it. And then like and then I would like reimagine it all, like my dream. And see myself acting upon it, and then heavy breathings, and then like feeling, I don't know, it's like almost like in a meditation state.
Are you still like first person shooter? Are you bird's eye view? Are you out of body experience?
I had them all.
The range.
Yeah, but it's mostly first person.
Okay.
It's mostly first person. It's weird when it comes to third person.
Yeah.
And whatnot. That's where I get tripped out. So I'm like, because I'm not like able to. That's where it's like harder for me to. I just sometimes will snap. Because I dream maybe third person view.
Yeah.
And I'm like not in control, and then like, but I know like I'm in the dream.
Yeah.
And then once I like try to like control or like do something in it, boom. Yeah, that's gone. I come back. Yeah, I'm not able to. That's and then first person, I'm like, okay, it's fine.
Okay.
Like I'm able to easier.
So
it's weird. It's so weird.
Kind of when you want to have more control.
Yes.
That's when you start to like.
Yeah, or maybe for an example, you're dreaming about something, and then you're like expecting something to happen. Like you really want to stay in the dream. You ever have those moments?
Yeah.
And you just snap out, and you just can't go back.
I resonate with that because when I was a kid, I was able to like lucid dream very briefly.
Okay.
Same.
It was weird. Like I want to hear about yours too. For me, it kind of looked like I would be having a dream, and I remember like I must have been in middle school, and I was having this dream, and I started realizing I was like dreaming, and I was like, oh, cool. And sometimes I'd like I want to fly, so I'd like start going on this really hard bounce, and it would kind of work. I would get a little higher. It wouldn't really play out the way I wanted it to. I was like, whatever. And then I remember like that dream I had in like middle school. I like realized I was like in a playground or something, and I realized I was like lucid dreaming, and I was like, oh, like I can think of anything, like now's my chance. And I remember thinking like, hot girl with big boobs, hot girl with big, and it didn't happen. Like I think I got like a fucking chair or something annoying, and I was like, this is dumb. But at that moment, I like started to. It was always for me that once I saw I was lucid dreaming, I knew I only had like a few seconds before I would like be ripped out of that experience and back into the real world.
Same thing. Like I think it's how it started for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so whenever I realized, and maybe next day dream again or whatever, like I didn't push myself to take control over it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's hard. Like maybe I'd have to like stress out the moment where I wouldn't be actively trying to take control over my dream. So I'd extend the time. Yeah. Maybe for example that you start out you first one and it's like 3 seconds, and then you think about something, try to control it.
Mm-hmm.
And then my next dream, just prolong it. Like, I'm just gonna like let it play out. And then I'd prolong it until the moment. Yeah.
What do you think it is about the first action makes you snap out of a dream real quick? Like, what is that? Where do you become conscious or like stop dreaming?
Yeah.
That's a very. I guess I don't know.
Is it harder actions? Is it easy,
when it just defies? When it defies like the logic, like the flying, whatever. It defies reality.
Limited by real world physics.
At least for me, like I'm curious to know if people are able to, do more. But for me, it's like define something and the logic. It's like maybe I've like flown before, but I like try to laugh at myself so I don't snap out of it.
It sounds like
slight slavery.
The lucidness comes in like a deciding moment and then it just prolongs and maybe becomes automatic for a little bit, and then you're met with another decision,
right?
And you can kind of kick it a little further.
Yeah, it's like you have to almost match it up to how reality was. Like you're able to tweak things in the moment, and then come back, and then like let it happen, and then maybe tweak a little bit in it.
A butterfly effect in your dream.
Almost, dude.
You shit Fortnite in your dream. You be building shit.
Right,
like, just a little further. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, but the lesson when it comes to that, it's like not only I don't really take it much of like just play it out and live like a that fictional world, but it's gotten me to the realization, like in those moments maybe of like traumatic experience and stuff like that, to understand now better. Like stuff, for example, today that you've had hardships in the past or something that you might not reflect upon it nowadays.
Yeah.
It's like when I'm in my dream and do whatever and then come back, then I reflect. I'm like, oh, well, this happened because of this. A good point of it is like, oh, the typical kind of hardship with like a dad. Or he was never there, whatever.
Yeah.
But then, now you reflect upon it and it's like, oh, well, he did what he could. With the resources, yeah, exactly.
Not that bad though.
AI dad in your dream.
Yeah.
Just taking a hug. Please. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's a good way to reflect and like
Do you keep a dream journal ever?
I don't.
No.
I thought you would because like a lot of lucid dreamers.
They say you have to keep a dream journal and to lucidly dream really well and no.
No.
I'm hearing more. That in your practice, there's a balance of like letting go of like kind of when this moment comes, like deciding differently, but almost like you have to get rid of your expectation in the dream, which is really interesting. That's like you have like that kind of emotional capacity, I guess, to like be like, oh, like I know I was kind of expecting this, but let's gonna go with what happens, and then you can decide something and keep going.
It's very weird, and like and nowadays on a daily, like my emotions, I don't know. I'm mostly logical, so that's the weird part about it.
Yeah.
Like in my dreams, when it comes to going back because emotions, trauma, whatever.
Yeah.
Being able to go back to those dreams and act upon it and stuff like that, based out of it. It's like it's a little bit freaky. I don't know, nightmare. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, wait. Can we start there?
Santi already knows a nightmare.
Say it. Just walk us through like the.
Walk us through the process.
Well, the lucid dreaming when I was a kid. Back to that question.
Yeah.
That was just like instantaneous. I would try to do something cool or something like I want to fly. I have had the hot girl with big boobs wishes.
Yeah.
I have had that work a few times. Which I would tell all my friends. Like I would have like a neighbor friend that we'd talk about dreams when we were like little, maybe 8 to like 12 years old. But I was playing a lot of sports when I was a kid, and distinctly I remember like 3 or 4 games as I was a kid where I would miss the buzzer beater and we're down by 1
What's
point.
a buzzer beater?
Like the buzzer beater before when you shoot the hoop and the buzzer goes off to end the game, and I would fucking miss and my whole team's pissed, and I would have dreams, like nightmares as a kid. And as soon as I started to change the outcome, like I did a different angle to make me make the hoop, snaps right out of the dream. The ball be in midair and I'm like, yeah! Damn. And then again, like I'll go, no, fall back. Fall back asleep. I wake up in it again, and I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, what the fuck? And I try to alter the dream, and it's like lucid enough to where I can I make the alteration that didn't happen in real life, and fails every time. Baseball too. Baseball, I miss a catch, and I want to go back to that dream and where I make the catch. And I like the ball's in the glove, and like I just wake up.
Fuck, you can't get a win.
I can't win it.
No. That fucking sucks. That's kind of like the tennis thing I was talking about.
Yeah.
Like they just keep respawning, and I never hit it. But so this what sounds like to me is like within the context of like sports, that there's a lot of like emotional release for you, And I could see that as a way that maybe you do remember your dreams more. Like, I'm starting to kind of understand from our conversation so far how they play, into that release. And I know, like, with the tennis stuff,
you
like...
see me yelling at the net?
Yeah.
Throwing rackets.
Yeah.
That's the only time I get emotional.
It feels good, yeah.
Competitive.
I think that's definitely a way that guys, like, release a lot of emotion.
Yeah.
In those moments, like, it's our little, like, maybe day to day we're, like, stoic and, like, very statue-like or whatever. But, yeah, like, it's nice, I think, having that sport as that, like, release and, like, full anger.
Sure.
You can kind of really get into it.
Yeah.
But anyway...
really big emotional spikes will probably lead to better dreams.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
More vivid.
So, is that something you're interested in practicing, like, your day life?
Sure.
Like,
I mean, we're playing tennis for 2 to 3 hours a day.
Right. Yeah.
I want to go more.
We go over the basketball. Yeah, I could play all day. I could do 8 hours of straight sports and whatever it is.
Yeah, I guess I'm curious. Like, if you, for example, like, if you wanted to have a dream about, like, fighting zombies, would we need to in the real life? No. Would we need to in real life go to, like, a haunted house or something?
Something to trigger
the emotion.
A real world emotion.
We should try that. We should.
Well, I just mentioned it also to you earlier because I dreamt about YouTube last night.
Oh, yeah, tell us about it. Yeah.
Oh, we'll come back to my dream later.
Yeah.
Because and it's been like about a week since I haven't seen you.
Yeah.
And yesterday it was like we started playing a couple hours or whatever, so that's the trigger as well. And I've had multiple moments where I realize in my life, stuff that I might be out of, it doesn't happen. And then it just happens a day or whatever, and then I might dream about it, something about it.
Hot gauge and hot Santi, hot gauge and hot
Santi. Yeah. Before,
looking at our fucking Instagram page, it's like
scrolling to get us in the stream.
I'm gonna send you buff pictures of us.
AI buff game.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Okay.
But it was, it was just very spontaneous. But I dreamt. The setting was, I don't know, somewhere in the city, and I know that you wanted to learn a little bit more Spanish, the language and everything like that. So we were like,
he told you.
Yeah. So and we speak Spanish, so we were like, bro, let's let's go around the city. There's this like Latino community. We'll go on the bar or something like that. And we took you, and then out of the blue, you were like fluent Spanish, talking with everybody. And we were like, what the fuck? We thought like you didn't speak Spanish.
Yeah, what the fuck?
So and that was it. I dreamt like other people that I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that part. Sometimes I dream about people that I haven't seen in a very long time, and they just like spawn in my dream.
Yeah.
They come, we're there, and then out of the corner of a room, they like pop up.
Dead people, live people, famous people.
Yeah, what kind of people?
Alive
people. But you haven't seen them in a while.
That I haven't seen in a while.
Are there any like characteristics in us that remind you of those people?
No, they were female.
Okay.
Yeah, they were both
exclusively.
Of them. Yeah, they were both of them female, and it's people that I haven't seen in a while. They live here, like in the city, but I just haven't seen them.
Just haven't run into them.
Dead people, I've never dreamt. I wanted to. My grandma, she was the one that was around when she actually named me.
Oh, okay.
And she passed away when I was like 6 years old. And I've been very close to her. I was like the favorite grandson,
Me too.
Whatever. Yeah. But I've never been able to. Yeah, and I like put myself into practice.
Even if you're looking at a picture of her and saying her name and envisioning her before you dream,
I have live.
It won't happen.
No, and I have live memories of her.
Yeah.
Like when she was alive and us playing or whatever. Never. I'm not capable. It's so.
You've never dreamt anyone who's passed.
No.
Interesting.
What does that say?
What does that say?
It's so weird. I wanted to. Like I try hard, and I get pissed off. Like why? But
why do you get mad?
He wants it.
Yeah. Well, I want to
I want to see her.
Yeah, I want to like relive. The moments. I mean, it's been since I was 6.
That's surprising that you can't recall that.
I can't.
Yeah, because I would assume that would have a big emotional spike.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was like ever since her passing.
Yeah.
Maybe your brain knows it's not possible. That's why you're still limited by the real world physics.
Like because it seems like yours are very confined to what's happening in reality. You know, like you mentioned,
can't make her come back.
Yeah, you mentioned that like when things feel illogical, you try to like bring it back to something that makes sense.
And again.
So then maybe that's playing like a role, right?
But you have time traveled.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I'm back like 12 years old. Yeah. And
whoa.
Yeah. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's.
And I'm like, I get pissed off. Like, damn, I want to like, and I know my mom or like people like they're able to sometimes dream. My mom has dreamed with about her mom.
Okay.
And I'm like, fuck, I can't do that. Like, and I don't understand why.
Yeah, but it does seem like you
oh
really
my god!
want it.
So we need to capture your mother's dream in AI brain scanning, so you can watch it, visit your grandmother.
Whoa,
that would be the day.
That's how you have the memory. Like a home video. Yeah. Your mother just dreamt, and now you can see your grandparents again.
That would be the day. And I've seen recordings. Like, she had like the very old like I don't know VCR
film.
Yeah. And we were in Vegas and stuff like that. And I've seen the film and everything. I'm just not able. I'm not able to.
Whoa.
I've not had, luckily, and I'm really like grateful for that. But I haven't had too many people pass away in my life.
Good.
Other than also my grandma, like in 2018, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And when she passed, I only dreamt about her once. I've only ever seen her once in my dream. And I think I got lucky. I am okay with my dreams kind of wandering to wherever they wander to. And this is actually a crazy dream. I'd love to walk you through like this.
Expand on it?
Yeah, this actual moment. Because it was really interesting, and I would like to make more sense of it. So it starts off it's a very long dream, but I'm in high school, and I am in the cafeteria arguing with the vice principal, right? Of course, and this never happened, but like I never had really any arguments with like faculty or anything, although I wish I did, and maybe that's why that happened. But yeah, I'm arguing with the vice principal, but the cool thing is like I have the knowledge I have now, even though it's like in high school, and so like I'm bringing out my critical thinking. Yeah, like I'm winning this argument. There's people around us at this table, and like I felt like I won the argument, and I felt so proud. And then I left. Someone was like, "Oh, hey, you forgot your jacket." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." It was like a really important jacket to me, so I put it on, whatever. School's ending, and then I see my older brother, and we were both in marching band. So he was like leaving. A lot of band students were leaving their practice, and we get on bikes, and we're gonna bike home. And I used to do that a lot in high school, but now that I think about it, like I don't know why, because I never lived in place in hills until SF, but in that dream, like I was going down like a city with like hills in it, and the first hill that we were kind of going down was very long and like it went really far down. As I'm going down this hill, I started to like feel this intense nostalgia, and my brain does this thing where I looked to like the buildings on the left and the right, and I could see through the building, like into the rooms and stuff. And in every building that I passed, I saw every girl I'd ever had a crush on. Like from like the like preschool to like late into college, I was passing, I'd see like combing your hair, like talking with their parents, like just everyone. And then we make it to the bottom of this hill, and I was like, whoa, like what was that? Make it to the bottom of the hill. And then my brother's like, okay, like we're trying to find our way home, I think. And what happens?
This is all one dream?
It gets longer, yeah.
What?
Yeah. And anyway. We're on our bikes. I think I can't remember the details of how it happens, but I think this bus like almost hits us, and we swerve out of the way. This part's really weird. We swerve out of the way, and we both like fall, and like our bikes collapse, and I don't know how, but like my brother stands up, and you know, like the stop signs on the street or whatever. Yeah. There's like a hole in the center of a stop sign, but it's like maybe like this big. It's like just big enough. And he stands up, and like I only see his eye through the hole of like the stop sign, and like I have this weird moment where like it feels like my brain zooms into his eye like really intensely, and something whispers to me is like, he's like the key to the universe, and I was like, what? And then like then I just get up after I had fallen, and like I'm like, what the like it's just very weird. And then so my brother's like, okay, I'm gonna bike home, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna go this way. And so he goes off home, and then I'm biking home, and it's getting later, or not home. I'm biking, just biking. It's getting later, and then I make it to the pier, like where the beach kind of is, and I like start walking throughout the pier, and then I remember seeing my aunt and her 2 kids, and I didn't want to see them. I didn't want to see them at all. So I started hiding. I like went behind stuff, and I was like, oh fuck, I hope they don't see me. And it's weird to me now, because I think it must have been like a few weeks later that aunt asked, like in real life, asked us to babysit her kids. So it was weird, like just the you know, happening, and I'm seeing it in a dream. But I'm like hiding, I'm trying to avoid them, whatever. And then after this moment, I remember like walking off, and there's like, have you ever been to like Santa Monica Beach in LA?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know,
pier.
Not the pier,
Just the beach.
But there's a part where there's like houses right next to the water.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, imagine that. And I'm like in that part, and if these are the houses and this is the ocean over here, in between like the sand and the houses, there's like a little roller coaster, and it just goes straight. It's almost like a little trolley that's just passing, sure. Right? So I mount the trolley, and I'm going like, I know, I'm going through like this little tracks, and I'm just like thinking about what happened, and then like it gets even weirder, and this is the part that I'm actually the most fond of. But I exit the trolley, and then I start walking towards the beach, and I have this deep feeling inside of me that I just have to like leave. Like I have to get on this boat and just go. You know, like at this point I've solidified this as a plot point in my dream. Okay. And so I start walking towards the ocean, but before I even touch the sand, you have to like walk down these steps. And then I see like 2 tables, and everyone is dressed in white, and they're all my ancestors, like on these tables, people I don't know. And I get off, and like they're all eating like fish tacos and wearing like, you know, that material, that kind of like shirt that like Latinos will wear to like important events. It's like a white like
linen
textured. I don't know if it's I don't know materials.
Polyester, rayon,
something, but it's like a thicker kind of material. Okay. You know, but anyway, they're all wearing.
What's the event? What's an event like that for?
Like bautismo, you know, like the shirt under. Yeah, like it's just white clothing. But yeah, they're all dressed in white and eating these fish tacos and like having a good time and chatting. And then I like walk over to them. And I was like, oh my God, like, I'm so happy to see you, like, and I just felt like I knew them. And then I saw one of my, I guess an ancestor of mine, right? And then I was like, oh, hey, like, what's your name? And I was like, wait, don't tell me your name. Like, let's say it on 3, right? On the count of 3. And then, what was his name? It's one of my cousin's name. I don't know, but we're like, 1, 2, 3. And then we both at the same time said the name. And I was like, oh, how do I know his name? You know, but it's just in my brain, like, whatever. Wow. But in my brain, it felt like a big coincidence. And
very interesting.
I was like, okay. I was like, all right, well, I'm off. Like, I have to go, you know, to the boat or whatever. But it was really nice seeing you. So they all, like, wave goodbye or whatever. And keep in mind, I was dead set on leaving on this boat. And I turned to the sand, And then I see my grandma like on a chair, and she's young. She's like maybe 17, 18. Like I'd never seen her in this like age. I'd only ever known her like old. And I see her and she's really young and she's like just on this chair. And like I'm walking toward her and she smiles at me. And then I wake up. And that was my dream. And that was the only time I had ever seen my grandma in a dream.
So interesting.
It was weird.
And you saw her, okay, so she was young.
Yeah.
But you seen her young in a picture and everything like that too.
Not.
How'd you know it was her?
Yeah.
I just knew. I don't know. But.
Huh.
Okay.
Yeah, I just knew it was her.
Yeah, interesting.
That was it?
That was it. I woke up that morning and this definitely probably played a role. My phone was playing music and it was like soundtrack music, you know, which I think led to a lot of the nostalgia.
Okay, triggers.
Yeah.
To that.
And like give it this sense of it feeling like a movie and like.
Well,
yeah. So I think that had definitely a play into like how it worked out. I haven't tried it since.
And that's the only.
Yeah.
You've only had that dream once.
Once. I've only ever seen her once in a dream, and it was in that dream. Yeah.
Wow.
It was hard to make sense of it that morning. Like I had woken up like around 4 in the morning, or 5 or something.
Oh, wow.
But I woke up hearing this beautiful song, and I still like it. I have it like saved on my phone after that. And the sky was still dark when I woke up, and I grabbed my phone. I was at UCSB at the time. Grabbed my phone and I walked like 2 blocks and I was at the beach. And then I went down and I was just like hearing the song again and like just thinking about this dream.
I had those moments.
Yeah.
Like you're still awake and you still feel the nostalgic.
Yeah, it's very
sensation,
emotional
like,
still. And it's like, whoa,
yeah.
Why did I dream that?
You gotta put that song in post.
Yeah,
Right here.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, there.
Insert song. Okay, so we got cafeteria, vice principal fighting.
Yeah.
Brother riding bikes down a giant hill. You almost get hit by a bus.
Yeah.
You're looking at your brother through a stop sign. You split off and you go to the beach. You see your aunt and kids. You hide from them. You go down to the you go onto the trolley with the tracks. You go down to you get off. You go down to the beach. You walk down the stairs. See your relatives dressed in white. They're all eating things, fish tacos. You turn away from them. You asked your cousin his name. You said the name.
Same time.
You then split off from them, saw your grandmother sitting while you're headed to a boat.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you finished right when that call was happening. Hold on, let me.
Hey, that's an entire.
And it's my mom calling. Hold on, let me put.
Of course.
Do not disturb.
Answer and tell her that we're dreaming about him.
Yeah.
Live.
Wow.
Okay. So recap. What does that mean to you?
I now saying it out loud helped me kind of understand at the same time like what some of these things are.
Where did the boat go?
Right.
Yeah, I think some of these are emotions that I repressed and popped out in the dream. Like being angry at my vice principal. I remember a lot of times like when I was in high school being very angry towards faculty. For the lack of respect that they had sometimes towards students. And I felt like I had no say in that world, and so I often would just like shut up and try to avoid trouble. But I think that's why that popped out. I think with my aunt being there with her kids and me kind of hiding from them and avoiding them, I think sometimes I felt like afraid. No, not afraid, but just like avoiding a sense of responsibility towards those kids and how I felt like they were being raised. Kind of unfair. Like now that I think about it, like their dad kind of walked out on them, and I often felt sad about that for them. I thought that they were kind of living a very hard life, and then that matched with like the iPad and always kind of like emotionally regulating with this machine. I think that's why like they probably popped out and I was like avoiding them. I have a history of like avoiding conflict as like a safety mechanism, and so I think that that's part of like how it plays out. My ancestors, I don't know how to make sense of that part. I think
are those ancestors that are in Mexico or here?
They were from Mexico here, like in Santa Monica-ish.
I'm trying to understand where the boat comes in. Seems like you're trying to take a boat to somewhere or from somewhere.
I was trying to
You're
leave.
leaving your family behind.
Yeah.
Maybe that. When was this dream?
Oh, it was a long time ago.
Maybe because you moved to this place from LA,
I think
perhaps?
kind of just how I said that, like sometimes I'm avoidant of my emotions. I think this dream elicited a lot of emotion out of me, and maybe that's why I wanted to leave. Like it was too much, and I kind of wanted to retreat back into myself and into solitude. And part of that was just like being like, oh, this is too much. I'm feeling too much. Like I have to go.
You had a Truman Show getaway.
Yeah.
You just wanted to sell off into the
like what's going on? Like,
family.
Yeah.
Okay.
That actually does help me make a lot more sense of the dream. Just seeing how much of these emotions played into the trippy part was like the whole like seeing my brother's eye through the whole socket.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. He's watching you. Stop. He's watching you.
Big brother.
A big brother.
Big brother. Always being watched.
Big brother. Yeah, they're always watching.
Yeah.
But
okay.
yeah, it's a dream that I look back often to, and I feel very grateful for it. You know, I think yeah, it's a special one. It's definitely like a special one for me. I think there's a lot of emotion. Even speaking about it now, I can feel like some of that emotion and nostalgia like arising from what that was. But yeah, that was the only time I had ever seen my or like a loved one who's passed.
You saw everybody. You saw your crushes. You saw your.
Yeah, but they're probably still alive.
Oh no,
so
of course.
You didn't see someone dead though.
I saw one person. Yeah.
One person in all of your dreaming ever. One person from the past.
Yeah, I've never dreamt, but I've never dealt with death that much, so I don't know if that could be the reason. You know. But I haven't seen her in another dream since. I woke up very excited that day too, and I called my dad. I was like, "Hey, I dreamt about my grandmother," like, because it had been like a few weeks since she had passed, and
nice.
thought it would mean a lot. Yeah.
Okay, so how long did that dream feel when you were in it? Did it feel like hours or minutes? Could you tell it was a dream at the time?
No, it was a story happening, and I was just letting it happen. There was a sense of like also letting go and just kind of moving with however things go and stuff. But
it's weird because you're on the edge of like this. You're on the edge of a lucid dream because you're envisioning a boat and you need to get out of your dream.
Right.
And you're recalling people from the past.
Yeah. It definitely.
But you're not in control.
Shoved into my memory, like I can the recall is like definitely there.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was no sense of like I could control it.
Yeah.
It was just like this is a story. I felt like almost like I was experiencing being in a film, you know. Okay. Actually, I would love to make this a fucking movie. Nobody take this fucking idea, or I'm coming after your mother.
Get out of here, you.
Yeah.
You.
I swear.
Okay, nice.
Wow. This would be sick. This one's like probably the easiest.
We could do that.
Oh!
That giant hill could be right there on Treasure Island.
Dude!
That's a huge hill.
Damn.
That could be an easy dream that we can make into a movie.
And I just wrote the whole script right now.
With AI.
Okay. I'm gonna finish this by the time this video comes out, so.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyway, I did want to know about your nightmare.
Oh my god.
Nightmares.
About?
I haven't had dreams in a while that I could recall. But I know I told you this one. It's almost vague now. It happened 2 weeks ago, a week ago.
Oh god.
But it was like my first. I thought I wasn't dreaming because like people tell me I smoke weed. You smoke a lot of cannabis. You shouldn't you won't get any dreams. You remember? But I smoked. I went to bed. I thought about dreaming, and I had this. I woke up in my dream. I'm in just a random room, and I'm already panicking. I'm in the dream, and I'm like,
what?
And And I'm looking for something. And I look around.
What was the room? Just black, white?
It was just like it was kind of like my regular bedroom, but there was no bed or shelves. It was just like a room. I couldn't really tell. I'm in the dream. I'm panicking. I'm already panicking. Don't know what I'm doing. I'm looking around, and it feels real. But like something tells me that it's not because I haven't been in this area before. It's like I don't know where I am, and I'd love to lucidly explain or like take control of what I'm doing, but I'm panicking, and I'm like, where is it? And I like look over the corner, and there's like a sounds like Roger Rabbit or like cartoony, but there's a backpack outline like shadow on my wall. And I'm like, no, where's my backpack? My backpack has my camera, my lens, my laptop, and I like, and it feels like it's like an hour.
Yeah.
And complete nightmare. I'm like, no, and I like run around and I run out of the room and I look at my car. I'm like, where's my backpack? and then I wake up and then I'm like, oh damn. I think I wake up.
Oh damn.
And I'm like, okay, cool. And like, I'm like, I in real life, I'm like woken up and I'm kind of like, I need to get back to this dream. And I go on my phone real quick to find my app. Find my laptop app, and I see like, oh, okay, it's in my room. And like, I didn't have to like look over. I think it was like downstairs in the kitchen. But I was like, oh, cool, it's in the house. My backpack's in the house. And I go to sleep, and I'm like, I'm panicking again. I fall back into the same dream, and I'm panicking. And I'm like, no. And in the dream, I take out my phone and I look at the Find My app, and I click to Find My app. And I'm like, where's my fucking laptop? And I'm just staring at it, and I'm panicking. I'm like. And then I wake up again, and then I look at my phone again, and I physically go downstairs, grab my backpack, and bring it upstairs to my room. And I'm like, okay.
Hugging.
But that was the biggest nightmare I've had.
Oh, what the?
In like 10 years, is that I lost my laptop.
Because
all the work I do, that's like probably the most emotional thing. And thing that...
You got everything there.
It's everything. It's like all my photos, all my clients' information, all of my online selling. And I just panicked. That was the only dream that I can recall in like years, and it happened after we talked about dreaming a couple days ago. So there's a correlation to talking about dreaming and dreaming more vividly, like right off the bat, because I rarely have dreams that I could ever recall.
It sucks to have to be a nightmare.
It was crazy.
Instead of something good, and you're like, oh, okay, this is cool.
I panicked a bunch of times, and I was like, what the fuck? How does this keep happening? It probably could have happened like 3 or 4 or 5 times in a row, like Groundhog Day, but I only remember 2 times back to back where I lost my laptop.
Well, I think it. Do you normally sleep with your backpack in your room?
No, it could be anywhere.
Okay.
It's not usually in one spot. It's on the kitchen counter or downstairs or. But
you usually know where it is.
Yeah.
When you slept, did you know, or were you not?
Yeah, I knew.
You knew?
For sure.
Oh, interesting.
For sure, no, I didn't like forget it anywhere.
Is there new content on your like computer or backpack? Did you get something new recently that maybe could have been like, oh, like this is important, like I have to know more than usual where it is?
I put a little Apple AirTag in my backpack so I could track it.
Okay.
I put that in like a month ago.
Okay.
I did get a new backpack too.
That's true.
I ordered one off Amazon.
Yeah.
Like maybe 2 or 3 months ago.
Yeah.
But specifically the laptop. The camera was in there too, but I wasn't really concerned about the camera. That's replaceable. But the
maybe the unfamiliarity of the new backpack per se.
I'm not sure. It was just a nightmare. A nightmare. Not death. Not dying. I've had vivid nightmares, but this is the scariest one.
What?
Make a movie out of that.
Yeah. Just the loop.
The missing backpack. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, what?
That was my nightmare.
You've had other nightmares though?
Okay.
A couple, like a basic bridge one when I was a kid, trying to get across a bridge, but the bridge is like all shaky, like on an earthquake.
Whoa, I've never heard that.
And like the like cars are in the way, and I'm trying to like walk across a bridge, but I can't go anywhere. It's like uphill, and I'm like struggling to go across the bridge.
It keeps getting further up.
The road is like falling into the water. I've had that one probably 15, 20 times.
Did you watch Final Destination?
It's something like that.
Is that where
as a kid, I don't know where it came from, but the bridge. I looked up a bunch of times what the bridge means, and nobody ever gives a definite answer why you're having this weird bridge that you can't cross.
Well, there was a bridge in your hometown.
Yeah,
right?
a couple of them.
A couple of them.
Yeah.
Did you ever experience
associations
something?
with it? No.
No.
So I have a bridge dream from when I was a kid, and then a weird trying to run up a mountain that's like I'm in a valley, and like both sides of me are like walls of rock, and I'm trying to run up, and there's like it seems like a Wipeout game with like balls coming towards me or something, and, like giant boulders, and a little kid just trying to get up this hill. I've fallen asleep, had that immediate dream, woken up, fall back asleep in that immediate dream.
Oh my
I'm
God.
just trying to run up a hill. I woke up crying when I was like 10, 12, 13, and I was trying to get up a hill. That was it. So bridge, hill dream, and then in college I distinctly remember not just studying and falling asleep, but you were in band, I was in like rifle. So we would do guard, and we'd like spin rifles in the air, catch them, and we'd have like competitions and stuff. And all of those guys, we'd go shooting after school.
Yeah.
So kind of like how Bill was telling us
back
in like the 50s where kids would keep rifles in their lockers and they go shoot after school.
Yeah, dude, he was telling
that
us
shit was real.
That was normal.
Are you serious?
He was like, yeah, dude, I had a 410 rifle when I was 12 years old, and me and my buddies would throw our rifles with a bunch of ammo in that locker and then go shooting after school. I was like,
that was a thing.
But GTA for real.
That was a crazy story. But in college, we'd all go shooting. We'd go shooting so often that I'd have to clean my AR-15. We would fire like bolt action M1 Garand. We had AK-47s, that same AK that we brought to the range 2 days ago. Yeah. We would shoot so much that I'd have to clean it. So I'd have to break the AK-47 and the AR-15 down and into pieces. And we have them all laid out. We'd have like little competitions and stuff because we're all shooting, and we're all taking apart our Glocks and our handguns. And when I'm in a dream, it feels like it's at a military academy, but it feels like I'm being tested by like a drill sergeant. In the dream, I'm sitting at a table, just like in a movie. There's a couple movies where the guys go. Oh, done.
Yeah.
I would do that in my dream.
Holy fuck.
Over and over and over. Which
just as fast.
Which made me
nail it
incredibly fast in real life.
Yeah.
I wasn't really good at the first couple times. I was like, oh, look at this spring. Where's this fucking thing go? And then I had a dream maybe a couple weeks in a row. Just me assembling guns in my dream at a table and like being timed. And then it made me better in real life. Putting those same guns together with those same pieces.
Have you seen Have you seen the Lego movie?
No, I haven't seen the Lego movie.
Have you seen it? They build like that. Like
I've
like,
seen it.
It's like this super fast
build. It was almost like a Fortnite in front of my eyes.
That's crazy. Okay.
But that was a vivid one.
Okay, so I'm hearing that in your dreams, there's a lot of repetition.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you see a lot of bridges.
So I've had a few pretty vivid dreams when I was a younger child.
Yeah.
Anywhere between 8 and 12, and one of them was distinctly like a pretty common one, which I had to go research, was the bridge dream. And it's like you're trying to cross a bridge, whether it's uphill or there's cars in the way, or the it's a little bit different iteration every time, but like for some reason these bridges are uphill a lot of time, and I'm like trying to go across the bridge.
Battle.
Like I don't get it, like struggling to go up, but at the same time the road's falling, and I don't know if I'm trying to bridge something in my real life or like a new transition, maybe.
It sounds like you're trying to get somewhere.
Yeah, I would think. I don't know, it's a road, I'm following it, I'm struggling.
But it's breaking.
It's breaking, shattering. The world's collapsing. It's like a nightmare, but I like realize that I'm in the nightmare. I can't lucidly dream.
Yeah.
I can't take control. I can't just jump off the bridge and swim around in the water. It's just like I'm stuck and I'm trying to walk.
Do you feel anything while you're on it? Like, so because you're in the action of still progressing.
Yeah.
But do you feel anything like stress, anxiety, like I want to get there, or just kind of chilling, like we get there.
Kind of just like as a 12-year-old, I'm like angry.
I'm
like, oh come on, why? Get out of the way. I don't even know what I'm battling, but I'm just like trying to like go like there's like cars that are just stopped or like driving by slowly. I'm like, what is this not? What is happening?
So that kind of sounds like there's a very big like frustration about like circumstance.
Yeah.
And so in trying to get to that place, like I heard you say that you can't decide, but I have a like theory that if you tell yourself that maybe you can, like you start to like maybe accept that idea in some way that you do have some kind of control.
I have crossed it.
Oh, you've crossed
the bridge.
Oh
once.
shit! Oh, what?
I've crossed it.
What's on the other side?
I did that.
Yeah, holy shit!
And I was like, and it was like probably maybe 20 times into having this nightmare,
where
I was just like, okay, like I'll do something different. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. I have like little floaty wings on in case I fall into the water. I have like all these safety preparations. I'm like, I'm doing it.
Holy shit!
You get to the other side. Oh, fuck, damn it! I wake up. I don't know what's there, but it just seems like a Truman Show, like blank wall, and like I'm on the other side. Like I get to the end, and I just there's nothing like. Computer generated there. There's no.
You're like almost out of bounds.
Yeah.
Whoa, that's cool.
So you get to the other side, and then I wake up.
That's kind of weird though. Like
it's a long ass bridge, like mine.
I can tell.
I remember distinctly one point in my dream, I was like, "Oh, I'm here," and I look back. And I see this long bridge, like cartoon long, in like hills and shit in the bridge, and I'm like, okay.
I love how cartoony. They also
it gets
can
weird.
feel, yeah.
It's like it's real, and then it's totally not.
That's interesting though. That like you like the climax. I've had a similar climax in dreams where the thing on the other side or the thing you're looking for, you finally get to.
Yeah.
And when you get it, you wake up.
Yep, every time.
Yeah, and so that sounds like what happened here, like that out of bounds, the way I'm kind of seeing it is like your real life. Like you finally get to the thing, and like the way I'm kind of thinking about it is like
there you are.
You're tapping into some other. Like a fun little idea is like you're tapping into some other dimension, right? That is actually happening like in real time, and in that dimension, you can like for a second connect with that Gage, who's like really going through this hill, and for some reason in that dimension, like this long ass stupid bridge, and right as this Gage like finally gets to it, they cross the out of bounds area. There's a sense of confusion. And then you wake up in this life again, and it's like, oh.
Is that dream telling me that the end goal is to just wake up, do it, like be conscious? Like, is that the...
I think so.
Is that the goal of the dream, is to tell me to wake up? Or to... I don't know what I reach at the end of it.
Yeah, I don't know if there's...
So not satisfying.
Something to reach. Like, because I feel like... even in my dream with the boat thing, like I never reached the end.
Right.
Yeah,
you never got on the boat.
Yeah. And so I think like, I don't know, it's interesting because I think it's more about, maybe not more, but I think that some of it could be of like what the value to extract is like the emotional thing that's happening in the dream, how you can apply that to your real life. Not necessarily that the actual outcome of the dream matters, because I feel like they tend to end in like a note that doesn't really make sense, and then you just happen to
definitely not a desired outcome for the dream.
Yeah. But that's cool though. I've never been in a dream where like I'm out of bounds.
Yeah.
And it sounds like almost the way I'm hearing it is like you broke through the matrix.
Like I defeated the nightmare.
Yeah.
Now I get to the next level, and
it's like, oh, like can I create the next level?
Oh.
And then you wake up, and then you start creating in your real life. Because I feel like he's that guy, like
of course
he like really creates in his real life, So
be present, wake up, go create now.
Yeah.
This is like it's telling me that this blank out of bounds is your world.
There's this whole canvas.
Do with it.
It's kind of like New Guy or Free Guy.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Free Guy, where
the same bridge.
Yeah,
he was running. He was running. Everything was dropping, destroying.
And then to paradise.
Yeah, and he jumps through. Yeah,
ooh. And he had to be conscious to get there.
Same shit.
Yo, that's crazy though. Yeah.
Well, I didn't make that connection.
Yeah.
That was a great
one. Watch it.
Yeah, I like to get out of the bridge, so I totally forgot.
He was running and he jumps through a portal and it's just beautiful and really crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Yeah. Whoa, I like that a lot. It
nice.
Definitely feels like you. There's like a confusion by the decision of choosing whatever the next part looks like.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that confusion is in the dream is the moment where you decide the next thing. Like in your dreams, when you come to that moment where you have to
make the decision,
you just decide one thing, and then it elongates it. You know.
Yeah.
So if you're ever in that moment again, and maybe not the bridge, but it might be because since we're like recalling a lot,
I want to dream about this.
It might happen.
It hasn't happened in 15 years.
Who knows? But if you're in that moment again and you finally hit the white space and you can decide something new, what would that new thing be?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would hope to just flow with it. Just let it flow out of me instead of taking a decision or making like what you said.
Yeah.
If I just go with it and not make a decision, then I still wake up.
Yeah.
But I think I wake up because I want something to be there. Or like I want something there.
You're expecting.
There's an expectation.
Yeah, something like that.
So yeah, maybe releasing the expectation is like
That would
source
be,
of
that,
suffering.
That would be Expectations are a source of suffering.
Yeah, that would be the lucid moment.
That would be the lucid dream.
Yeah.
Right. And then I think I wake up because it's tough to lucid dream.
No.
No.
I think
I can't get to that creativity.
you have to accept that you can lucid dream before you can lucid dream. Like you can't tell yourself that it's not possible.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be like
you have to convince your brain
first
that what you're going to make might not be real, but you're going to create it.
Exactly.
Or do it, whatever it is.
Same thing with art, I think. Like
you have to convince yourself.
It's kind of like looking at any painting canvas and anything can go on it. And that's daunting.
I know.
Right?
I know.
And
where do I start?
I think one thing that helps me is kind of what we've been talking about, like just deciding something.
Sure.
It doesn't have to be great, but just choosing something and then going with it. More out of like a discipline than like a relation to my ego. And in the past, that's where my creative block would come from. My like writer's block and all that would be from like, like I don't know what to put on this canvas because there's an actual fear that it won't be perfect and it won't align with what I really believe I can do. But I can't get to the point of doing the thing that I want to do without the little steps. In the same way that like you've built like a lot of businesses and you've been able to grow things in real life and in those directions.
Yeah.
It's because you decide and fail. So that's the same translation I see in art where like and this is the hard part because I've gone through a lot of canvases and paints where like I'll make something and in the end I hate it. And there's an emotion tied to it. And it's very weird because like it's just a thing that I did, you know. It's not personal, like it's just something I thought, and maybe I hate it because I had an expectation, you know, for what it was supposed to look like or something.
Sure.
And that's the real anger, is that I had the expectation to begin with.
And it wasn't how you expected, how you envisioned it.
Right.
So it changes your emotions.
Yeah, so that could be the part for you, like in the dream, and maybe also with art, where like you just make a decision, and you already do it, like when you edit stuff and you put stuff together, you know. Definitely not saying that it's not something you do, but at least in the dream world, that could be like hopefully the part that like opens up the gap to the next whatever it is. I like that. I like that, Brett.
I'm just gonna have to try harder, or convince myself not to try as much.
Yeah.
And then I can lucid dream like Brian.
Yeah, it is.
I'm gonna have a dream about you tonight.
Yeah. He's gonna dream about this.
Just a giant floating Brian beard.
A whole.
What if the episode didn't go well?
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's decent.
Yeah.
Makes the bridge dream seem more satisfying if I can reach the
Yeah.
Okay. And then the other one was the
rifles
running up the mountain.
Oh yeah,
the little
part.
Narrow mountain running up. I think a lot of people have this dream though. I've heard that this is a very common dream. It's almost the same thing as the bridge, just running uphill.
Yeah.
Uphill. There's an uphill battle, and it's like Ninja Warrior, where there's balls and boulders coming down, and I'm a little kid trying to like get out of the way so I don't get crushed. Okay, so that.
It's interesting how geography plays a big role in dream. I've never had a dream uphill. I've had the world flat or downhill.
Really?
Like I'm biking downhill.
Seems like you're okay.
Or I'm just like walking and
that's a more positive outlook, and I just have a negative outlook or something.
I'm
always uphill for some reason.
That's interesting. Yeah, like you're always fighting something, you know.
Yeah.
That's what I'm noticing though. That there is like you're fighting always something, or sometimes the fight is like this skill that you have to accomplish.
Yeah.
You know, like you have to perfectly assemble the rifle.
Yeah.
You know, or you have to do something.
Yeah.
You know, there's a goal. And I think
there's a goal.
A challenge.
Yeah.
There's a goal.
In mine there's no goals.
I hear
that. It's just like, oh, that happened.
I'm just jealous. You have like a movie, and I'm like trying to do something. I'm trying to complete a task, which I don't really know why I'm doing the task half the time.
Yeah. So it might be just not trying.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
It sounds like that's what you do, and then sometimes when you have to make a decision, you just decide, right?
Where I would like to make the decision.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm interested, like, cause you. And it's also okay if you don't want to talk about this, and I want to respect that. But you said that there was like a traumatic moment at some point in your childhood that elicited this like ability to lucid dream and kind of change the outcome. Are you open to talking about that moment?
Of course.
Or, yeah.
No, of course. Actually, a couple years ago, I probably wouldn't, because it's something that's very emotionally attached to me.
Yeah.
And at the time, I wasn't like ready to really like let go.
Yeah.
Even speaking about it like made me tear up.
Yeah.
What's interesting is that I'm like my memory is very good. Like the youngest memory I have, I was probably like 3 years old.
Oh wow.
And I was small. I was like being taken to the beach, and I remember parts of the beach with my parents and stuff like that. And ever since then, like I will always. I don't know what really triggers it. Maybe that emotional aspect and stuff like that, where I can, like, there's a lot of things that I can reimagine and, like, vividly and, everything. So, when it comes to going back to my dream and reliving those moments, it was my parents were going through a divorce. So I'd see a lot of those hardships happening. It was a lot of abuse with like my mom and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Mental?
Both, physically and mentally. Sometimes, like I had to drive her once from a coffee shop back home because she had like bruises on her wrist.
Oh wow, yeah.
And she couldn't drive. She was sore and stuff.
Man,
so it's like stuff like that.
Yeah.
That you just relive. You see and you're like, what the fuck, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like 11, and it was like my first time driving a car. And this was back in Mexico.
So
it's okay. We were over there. It's not here. Little highway, 11-year-old kid.
Oh my god.
It was in town, and I had to drive her, and it's like stuff like that. I don't know. I didn't really felt stuff. But you'd see, and so like pictures, right, and like little film, and just kind of really penetrate your mind and whatnot.
Yeah.
So it's moments like
that.
Yeah. Sometimes they were going through the separation. Like my dad would, just, I don't know, break in the house and have arguments and stuff like that. Yeah. And I was like in bed, like I wanted to confront, but I was scared, and I would just be there, like hearing and just imagining like the screams or whatever, the yelling. And so moments like that, that's where like my dream plays in nowadays. Like sometimes, I go back, and I relive those moments where I was like in bed, and like if stuff like once it plays out, then I would like take action of getting out of bed, and like go and like confront my dad about it. You know, and then I wouldn't like to act much upon it because I've had moments where. So it's a lot of emotions, right?
Yeah.
So I would wake up and like when I would lucid dream or whatever, I would like do more, like try to take control over everything. That's where I'd snap.
Oh, okay.
So then there's moments then I'd like revisit or something, and then there's moments where I like confront and like let things happen and prolong it.
Yeah.
And then act again or something, like little tweaks and whatnot.
Yeah.
And make changes and such.
Wow.
Yeah. But as soon as the outcome was just not happening differently, I just snap.
Yeah.
And there are multiple moments where after I dream that and like reflect back upon it, it gives me better insight of understanding and stuff like that.
Whoa.
Better how to deal with my emotional emotional past and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's ultimately like helped me, almost like therapeutic.
Yeah, it sounds like it's helped you like heal from this experience.
It definitely has.
Right? In a very natural and like
because I don't think
way,
personally I don't know, at least for me, like therapy has never helped me. Like I've tried, journaling sometimes, like getting words out. Because it's stuff that I don't publicly say or don't talk to people and stuff like that about it. So I like maybe journal and stuff like that to get like my emotions on paper, my thoughts and stuff like that, rather than like bottling them in.
Right. Sure.
And so it's like, okay, well, if therapy doesn't help me and talking about it or whatever and journaling, so might as well just like dream it and I guess that's how it kind of came up to be.
Wow,
like a coping mechanism.
It is a coping mechanism. It sounds like.
Yeah, since I remember, it's like I've never really had healthy outlets. I had a phase in life where I was like very aggressive, and I would like drink and stuff like that.
Oh wow, yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of it, it's stuff that's just was I don't know, really
bottled
get
up.
In me. Yeah, and I would get it out. And so since then, like stop drinking, clear mind, whatever.
Yeah.
And going that, like, okay, let me just, I don't know, whatever I had, what did I have? My dreams, like, okay, and then just put them into practice. And relive it, deal with it, face it.
Yeah.
And change
Well,
cope with that.
First, like, congrats on getting over that aggression and being able to not drink. That is a fucking hard thing to do. As someone who's gone through like all kinds of drugs and shit in the past, like I resonate with that moment where you have to kind of just decide for yourself. And I'm glad that you had like the self-awareness to kind of like push yourself into like maybe uncomfortable territory of like putting that down and reflecting. But yeah, it's really interesting that they're very like therapeutic for you, and they have been. And it sounds like since entering this new part of your life that the dreams can be like a lot lighter. Yeah, or what do you think?
How do you mean lighter?
Like
emotionally tolling.
Yeah, like the subject matter might not be so dense,
heavy,
or like it might not always relate to that experience.
Yeah, because it wasn't long enough where, if I would put like words into it and stuff like that not feeling. Yeah, and like wanting to tear up and whatnot. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and for the longest, like blaming, because this I can't do this and stuff like that.
Victimization.
Yeah. Yeah, so
I went through that.
You know, yeah, it happens. But you get tired, and it's like you come to the realization that nothing good comes out of it, and you're only like limiting yourself. And the thought of like the whole drinking and stuff like that is really just to kind of fit in with your surroundings and the people and whatnot.
Yeah,
and it's like trying to retract yourself from that. Like everybody else, like they're not gonna feed you. They're not gonna like really do stuff like kind of like push you forward in life. Like directly. You can have the support and stuff like that. Yeah. But you need to just separate yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's gonna be your very own life, and at the end of the day, like you're the only one that's gonna be living with yourself until you're gone.
And you're deciding what that looks like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it's like sitting the foot down and like I'm trying to decide this for myself and changing and whatever. And so like at least for me, utilizing that to help me kind of overcome.
Yeah.
Than the regular, I don't know, standard procedure of going to therapy and talking things out and pills or I don't know. Like
Yeah.
I've never been a pill guy. I've never been I don't take no antibiotics and stuff like that. It's like so how am I gonna help myself?
Yeah.
And ultimately, I guess it was that.
That's really a question I think everyone asks themselves at some point in their life. Like, how am I going to help myself? Like, and not. I think it's a rite of passage to reflect and see like, oh, I've been victimizing. Like, things are always happening to me that are bad, But at some point, you have to be the decider, and jump the hurdle of like, why is life bad for me? To how can I look at the way that I was like spawned into the world and just accept it, even though it's hard,
right?
And I have no control over it, and be like, okay, now how can I take responsibility from that point?
Of course.
And that's a challenging thing from person to person,
right?
Like some people are born into fucked up lives, and they like will probably never, I don't know, never, but like, actually I don't want to speak on that, but some people like have a lot harder of an obstacle to overcome in themselves, and a good amount of people never make it through, and it's unfortunate. I think that's where a lot of like extreme like mental illness and pain and suffering and like addiction play heavy into somebody's life, because they whatever beginning they were given may have just been so fucked up and they had no control over it.
Sure.
And it like wanders into this other way of coping with it,
right.
Or
I think at the end of the day, it's like you wire yourself through that though. It's like because you live in these fucked up moments and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like you have choices at the end of the day.
You do have choices. Yeah.
Of like which path you want to pursue.
And
so for the longest, I just drinking kind of was being around. I don't know. Your surroundings, your environment plays a big role.
Yeah.
Who do you have? Like, what are you sticking around?
Yeah.
I don't know, if you're sticking around with everybody who drinks, then you're going to be the fifth person who's drinking as well, the averaged out person.
Yeah.
So it's like at the end of the day, do you want to, and it requires a lot. Like you sacrifice being comfortable. And
sometimes even friendships.
Yeah, comfortable with the people who surround you and stuff like that, and it's almost really like a loner path you got to start. And not anybody is able to do that.
Yeah, it can. Yeah,
but it's powerful. Like if you're comfortable sitting for 30 minutes, that's what even some people are not even able to do. Like sitting 30 minutes in your head. Like
don't do nothing.
Think, yeah. And they're not like they gotta be doing something. They gotta have a phone. They gotta be distracted. They gotta be comfortable. Whatever. And it's like it takes that sacrifice. That's like the first step, and just realizing and then changing entirely your environment.
Yeah.
So like since that, I don't like being comfortable. Like I embrace uncomfortability because it pushes your limits and you're stressed. It's like working out. You work out. You're stretching muscles, but you grow.
Yeah.
And so on and so forth. Same thing spiritually and all the rest.
Be comfortable with being uncomfortable.
Exactly.
Will save your life. I think a lot of times.
Yeah.
Just embrace difference, embrace the change, accept it, make the change.
Yeah.
Actions.
And that's the very first step. And the majority are not able to do that.
No.
And so
Yeah.
and all the rest kind of falls into place because, you know, getting out of the people and the environment that I was in, you go into like a lonely, solitary, you know, place in your mind and spiritually and all the rest and just grinding and stuff. But and then your character, your person changes.
Mm-hmm.
And so as well your options, almost like that butterfly effect, right? Okay, so you take an action, you're alone or whatever, but then the people that come afterwards, like you guys, how I met you guys, it's like totally different perceptions. I like photography. You guys like art, photography. We're all kind of like connected in that sense.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And that's kind of I go into that reflection like, oh, okay, so, you know, I'm solo, whatever, and then you get to meet people.
Yeah.
That fall into the same mindset, like the same. You connect, you click. There's ideas, so you push yourself.
Yeah.
As well, like together. How to sell, you know, all the, you know, and it's stuff that I want to do. It's like, this is possible. There's opportunities.
Yeah.
Like, and it excites you, and then you really embrace the people that fall into place because it's that path that you want to also, you know, go towards.
Yeah.
So like, why not together? Like you're able to push yourself and challenge and create and so. At the end of the day, it's like your network is your net worth as well. You know, the values and stuff like that, and how you expand upon that.
Man, what a beautiful way to like summarize that experience.
Right.
And it actually it helps me a lot understand like in the last year-ish, I've told you a few times too. Like I've had a lot of moments where I just feel very alone. I'm like, fuck. Yeah. I'll tell you like a few times, like a week or a month.
A few times.
I'm like, dude, I don't have any friends over here.
Right.
You know? And it's like hearing you talk about what some of that journey looks like is like comforting for me to hear like, oh, like it's okay. And I'm learning for it to be okay to settle into like my solitude, you know, and not have it mean that it's a negative thing. Mm-hmm. Like yesterday when I went to go watch the new Spider-Man movie, like I was like going to theater by myself.
Oh, you went alone?
Yeah.
I almost thought you went with I don't know.
No, I've been trying to do a lot more things just by myself, just because I like it. That's good. And I actually ended up making friends with the two people next to me. We're just shitting on the movie the whole time.
Really?
Yeah. It started with like the trailers. Because there's this movie coming out of this, like, teenage girl who, like, her thing is, like, she's, like, secretly a Kraken. I know, but you know how they Hollywood nowadays. They're, like, they literally say in the trailer, like, oh, she's a Kraken. But, you know, we heard crack. And so we started laughing. They're, like, this guy's, like, how do they fucking make these movies? And I was like, yeah, they're probably on like psychedelics or some bullshit. And then we just kind of like, you know, throughout the movie and the trailers, just like bullshitting on stuff happening.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, and then they happened to have parked next to me, which was a whole other thing in itself. So I was walking back to my car, and I was like, you guys are fucking following me, huh? And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna take you to the other spider dimensions. Mm-hmm. And I was like, fuck you. But yeah, they're cool. It was just... Oh, shit.
Damn, yeah, that's
okay.
The time.
Good call. Yeah, I think, yeah, that's a maximum thing. Okay, yeah, anyway, I think this is a good place to stop. Before we finish the recording, I'd like to know where people can find you, a little bit of what you do, also.
Of course. I guess Instagram, Presco Brian. You guys can go into my profile there, and then I have a link to like my link tree if you guys want to find me on other social platforms. I'm a creator, so I'm creating content, photographer. I got a business in that realm, creating websites, such startups. I don't know. I like to connect with other smaller businesses, into the also Latino, whatever, Hispanic community. I'm trying to get more into that space. I started out everywhere. But I know niching down, like that community also needs a lot of help when it comes to the digital world, and it's like, I want to be a little bit more into that community space.
Nice.
entrepreneur route. So
hell yeah.
Hopefully we'll get starting product sell. I don't know. A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah, see where it happens.
See where it goes, man. Yeah. New chapter every day.
Yeah.
So.
All right. And where can we find you?
Nice.
About yourself.
I'm Gage, and you can find me at Art by Gage pretty much everywhere, or Crypto Gage. I'm into blockchain and crypto assets.
Yes.
I don't have any dollars to my name, no fiat, no US dollar. That's my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I like creating art. I like doing videos, movies. All three of us are now doing e-commerce. So I'm just helping them. I'm trying to get people making more side income, and that's like one of my passions is being an entrepreneur, bringing on friends and like showing tips and tricks and having them help me. And we have photography, and I think we have a wedding coming up soon.
Yeah.
We just filmed at the SpaceX launch.
Right.
So yeah, we have a lot of things coming this year, and follow DREAMCORE.
DREAMCORE.
Yeah. Okay, so great. It was a pleasure being here, and maybe I'll tell my rifle story next time since it got cut off air.
Oh yeah.
But,
Yeah,
it was great, and hope to come back soon. I had fun and learning, and I've learned a few things just being here.
Yeah.
So.
Of course.
Yeah. Thanks, guys.
Bye everyone.
Thank you so much.
Nice.